The NBA draft is 4 days away, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my final mock draft that has trades in it for the 2023 NBA draft. My final mock draft will come out on Wednesday. I won't be predicting any trades in that one. So yeah, this one's going to have a few trades in it. They're just for fun, me predicting possibly some trades that could happen, and it adds a little bit of spice to the mock draft. So if you guys enjoy these mock drafts, feel free to drop a thumbs up. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers, so if you could subscribe to the channel if you're not already, I would really appreciate it. So let's hop in with the San Antonio Spurs. Apparently, they've gotten some offers for the number one pick, but they've shot everything down. I wonder if you had like picks 2, 3, and 4 in this draft, and you're like, okay, San Antonio, we'll give you those 3 picks for number one. I think they would still say no. So yeah, Victor Wembanyama, the number one pick. It's chalk at this point, but I'm gonna have my first trade here at 2. We're gonna have the Hornets trading this pick away, and yeah, it's gonna be with the New Orleans Pelicans. There's been like a rumor that the Pelicans were trying to get in the top 3 to draft Scoot Henderson. For this scenario, for this mock, we're gonna have a Zion Williamson type trade with the Pelicans moving him to Charlotte. Charlotte pairs up LaMelo Ball and Zion there, and then New Orleans gets off Zion's contract. Or you know what, like, we can end up getting Scoot Henderson out of him. Let's take his value right now, because if he's hurt for probably another year, then his value is just in the gutter. So this is the Pelicans trading up to number 2 to take Scoot Henderson, be that lead point guard for the future, and have the number 2 next to Brandon Ingram, and then you still have talented guys like CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. So yeah, we're gonna have Scoot Henderson going to the New Orleans Pelicans, and why not? Let's do another trade. The Blazers don't want to trade away Damian Lillard, so let's have them trade the 3rd overall pick to the Toronto Raptors for Pascal Siakam. So the Raptors would keep 13 in all of this. This would probably involve like Anthony Simons and number 3 getting Pascal Siakam to Portland. So that's what we're going to do here, and the Raptors are going to take, honestly, if the Raptors traded up to 3, this would be interesting, because I feel like they would be the team that would take Amen Thompson, or like Amen Thompson, over Brandon Miller just because of his intangibles. But yeah, you're getting a 6'8", 6'9" forward that could spot up, that could play make, and is going to help you start that rebuild alongside Scotty Barnes in Toronto. And like I said, you're also keeping the 13th overall pick as well. So we're on the clock here at 4. I think I'm going with Cam Whitmore in all my mocks, and probably my final mock too, because there's been a lot of reports and just information coming out of Houston beat writers that they like Whitmore over Amen Thompson, which is going to cause maybe Amen to fall, because we're here at 5. I don't think Detroit ends up taking another guard with Ivy and Cade there. So yeah, we're on the clock at 5 here with the Pistons. I think it would come down to Asor Thompson or Jarris Walker, and I think I'm going to go with Jarris Walker still in this mock draft, and we're going to have Walker slide in there to Detroit at 5. I also don't know where he's going. I feel like Whitmore, Walker, and the Thompson twins are going to be picks 3 through 7, but I just don't know in what order. I think that's, I don't want to say it's a guarantee, because a lot of weird things could happen on draft night. And here we are with the Orlando Magic at 6. They could take Amen Thompson if he falls to 6, because they're like, we can get a shooter at 11, and we think Amen Thompson has a higher ceiling than his twin brother Asor does. So yeah, I'm going to have Amen Thompson go to Orlando. I think that's just the way this mock is falling. I think with Cam Whitmore going to the Rockets at 4 over Amen really changes a lot of things up in this draft, and could really cause a lot of moving parts on draft night for sure. Now at 7, I think the Pacers could look for somebody to pair up next to Miles Turner in the front court, and I think they really like Taylor Hendricks. I feel like the Pacers would want to take a more safer prospect in Hendricks over the boomer bust guy in Asor Thompson. So yeah, I think if Jarris Walker's here at 7, they want him, but if not, it's going to be Taylor Hendricks out of UCF to be a pick and roll partner, a teammate, a complimentary piece to Tyrese Halliburton, and then you would have him in the front court with Miles Turner. So we're on the clock here with the Wizards at 8. And with Bradley Beal most likely getting traded, I think this could be the Asor Thompson pick, because he's somebody that you could build around, be patient with, develop, because you're going to be rebuilding. You're not going to win many games next year. And I think if Asor Thompson's on the board, even with Anthony Black here at 8, and you know you're trading away Bradley Beal, take Asor Thompson. I think if you were keeping Bradley Beal and you needed a defensive-minded point guard next to him, you could look at Anthony Black, or you could look at Cason Wallace. But I think in this case, if you're moving Bradley Beal, take the best player available, and in my opinion, that's Asor Thompson. I have Asor Thompson higher than a lot of the guys that we took. I have him higher than Taylor Hendricks. Amen Thompson, Jarris Walker, and Cam Whitmore. He's my 4th ranked player in this class. So getting him at 8, I think, is immense value in that part. So we're on the clock here with the Utah Jazz at 9. I think they could look at a Cason Wallace. They could look at maybe a Grady Dick, Jalen Hood-Schifino. I'm going to have them go Anthony Black. He could be a defensive-minded guard next to possibly Colin Sexton or Jordan Clarkson in the backcourt. He could be a facilitator for Walker Kessler and Mallory Markkinen. I would also love to see them end up with Taylor Hendricks. Didn't work out on this mock. I think a Markkinen, Hendricks, Kessler 3-4-5 could be so much fun to watch, but I think you're getting Anthony Black is very good value here at 9. I could see the Jazz ending up with Black or Cason Wallace 100%. Now we're on the Mavericks here at 10. This is going to be a very interesting spot because I think they could trade this pick as well. I'm only making the trades in the top 3 with Scoot trade to New Orleans and Brandon Miller to Toronto, but I think they could be in kind of the world if they wanted to move this pick for like an OG Anunoby or somebody like that. So I think they could look for some defense here, and that really like is Cason Wallace, but they could also go Jordan Hawkins, who's more NBA ready to help Luka make the playoffs next year. He's a good defensive minded wing, but can also be a spot up shooter for them. And I'm kind of coming around to this pick. I think Hawkins should go in the lottery, and I didn't really mock him too much to Dallas, but I like this a lot. I kind of like how different this mock has been so far, with Jordan Hawkins going 10 here to Dallas. Now we're here at 11. Ooh, this could be plenty of picks. They went with Amen Thompson already. I honestly think this could be a Derek Lively spot because Mo Wagner, not a great defender. Wendell Carter Jr., maybe isn't your guy super long term, even though he's on a great contract, but like having Lively as a backup behind Wendell Carter Jr., I think would be kind of nice. But I think I'm going to go with them still getting shooting in Grady Dick because you took Amen Thompson, is not going to be a good shooter coming in right away. So you can get Grady Dick, you can be more of that 2-guard spot. We have the OKC Thunder here at 12. And somebody I really like them taking is Cason Wallace. I think Trey Mann's going to fall out of the rotation. I think they would go best player available, somebody that can come in, be an immediate defensive impact player. And I'm kind of imagining a lineup of Shea, Cason Wallace, and Lou Dort. Wow, that would just be an insane defensive trio on the perimeter, and I would kind of love Cason Wallace joining another Kentucky guard and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over there in Oklahoma City. We're on the clock here at 13 with the Toronto Raptors. They already got Brandon Miller in this class. It's looking like Fred VanVleet is not going to be coming back next season. He already opted out of his player deal, or his player option. It looks like he wants $25+ million, and the Raptors should 100% not give him that. So I'm going to have them take Kobe Buffkin out of Michigan. He's my guy in this class. I have a top 10 grade on him. He's my number 9 player. I'm kind of moving him up as well. He might get in towards that 8-7 range on Thursday night's draft where I want to lock it in. I love Kobe Buffkin. I think there's a chance he goes in the top 10 as well. Apparently he's been just killing the workouts with these teams in the top 10. You have the Wizards at 8, the Jazz at 9 that could be interested in drafting him. So yeah, I'm going to have Kobe Buffkin go to Toronto. And man, I think like if you ended up with like Anthony Simons, Kobe Buffkin, and Brandon Miller on draft night, and then maybe you moved OG Anunoby as well, like that would just be a great start to your just like soft rebuild. Like that team could still be in the play-in tournament conversation next year if you re-sign Jakob Poeltl. If maybe you don't trade away OG Anunoby and you like him as a complementary piece to a Buffkin and a Brandon Miller. And then Anthony Simons as well. We're on the clock here at 14 with the Pelicans. I think if you're giving up Zion, you maybe don't have to give up pick 14, but in this case, I'm going to have them keep it. And I think they could also look at Derek Lively here as well in the last pick of the lottery. Jonas Valanciunas isn't like your long-term center probably after the next 2 seasons, and you can get somebody that you can mold behind him. He can work on his rim protection, which I think he's going to be great at in this league. He can work on his jump shot as well, because if Derek Lively can knock down threes, oof, he's going to be so valuable, and I think there's a good chance he goes in the lottery here on draft night. So at 15, maybe I'm a little bit lower on Bilal, but I think this could be a spot for him as well. I don't know what the Hawks are going to do. They, like the Hawks and the Thunder, I think have been all over the place in smoke screens and what they're going to do on draft night in their spots, because the Hawks have 2 point guards, but DeJounte's playing at the 2. They have a plethora of wings. You got Bogdan Bogdanovic, DeAndre Hunter, Saddiq Bey, AJ Griffin, who I thought was an underrated rookie. You have John Collins as well. Maybe there's a trade there. I think there's been a rumor that John Collins and 15 could be traded for pick 10 to Dallas, and Davis Bertans, which could definitely be a possibility if they just don't want Collins anymore. They have Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu in their center spots, so maybe Capella gets traded on draft night. Who knows? But I think you could take Bilal here with the upside he can have to really being maybe your 2, 3, or 4 long-term in your future. And if he could really be a great defensive help to Trae Young, that would just be an amazing pick at 15. So we're on the clock here at 16, and this is the Utah Jazz's second first-round pick. I have them taking Keontae George. I'm a little worried about his playmaking. I think it's inconsistent at times. I'm a little bit worried about his shot selection. Is he going to be quick enough with his first step in the league? But I think if he's going into Utah, where he would not have a lot of pressure on him at all. He's like the 8th scoring option behind Clarkson, Markkanen, maybe even Kessler in shot attempts per game. Sexton in also Anthony Black, who I had them take before. Maybe Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to get his shots up next year. You got veterans Kelly Olynyk there as well. So I think this would be a nice spot for Keontae George where there's not going to be too much pressure on him going into his rookie year. So we're on the clock here at the Lakers, 17. They kind of need to take somebody that can help them right away. That could be Bryce Sensabaugh. That could be a Colby Jones at 17. I don't love him as a prospect at all, but this is a mock draft, not a big board. I could see them going Jet Howard out of Michigan here at 17. I think he can have an all right rookie year. I don't think he's going to end up being a top 15 player in this class. I'm a little bit worried about his ability to get to the rim. I think he's fine at finishing in the rim, but I don't think he's great at getting inside. He didn't have too many attempts, which is a little bit worrisome in the volume he had at Michigan, but I think he could be in play for the Lakers at 17. Something I've been mocking that I absolutely love is Leonard Miller to the Miami Heat at 18. Somebody that I think could really buy into the system. He just feels like a Miami Heat culture guy right now. I don't know if they're going to have this pick. Maybe it's in a Bradley Beal trade, but if they have it on draft night, I think Leonard Miller could be their guy if he falls outside the lottery. On the clock here at 19 with the Warriors, I think there's a ton of talent here. Like Nick Smith and Jalen Hood-Schifino still on the board. Those could be some possibilities as well. We got Noah Clowney who can help them out on the defensive end. James Najee is really good. I kind of like Dariq Whitehead or Colby Jones, and I think like the Warriors trying to win next year, let's take Colby Jones who can come in and be an efficient scorer for them off the bench and somebody that definitely has a big game feel to him, and I think he could be somebody that could be like a Christian Brown type player for Golden State as they're trying to win a championship next year. On the clock here, 20 with with Houston. Now, had them taking Cam Whitmore, small forward here. Maybe they end up with James Harden. Maybe they don't. I still don't know that. But I think this could be in line for them to take Jalen Hood-Schifino at 20. I think getting JHS and getting Cam Whitmore is a solid one too. I'm becoming a little less like high on Cam Whitmore. I don't know if I love his feel for the game. Don't think he's going to be a good playmaker. And if his shot isn't there, like his 3-point shot, he might not be as valuable, especially on his rookie deal. And it could be an interesting spot wherever he ends up. But yeah, I think getting Jalen Hood-Schifino at 20 is really good value. 21 here, Brooklyn Nets. Let's take Nick Smith Jr. I have him higher ranked than 21, but I think he could maybe go around this area on draft night. I would even be surprised if he went in the top 15, and I kind of like him over his teammate Anthony Black. That might be, well, that is a hot take for sure. And then they have back-to-back picks here at 22 because I believe the 21st one was via Phoenix and they have theirs at 22, or it could be vice versa, but this could be a Dariq Whitehead pick in my opinion. Somebody that definitely has some risk to his name, but if he could stay healthy, he could be a great spot-up shooter and a complementary piece to a Mikal Bridges next year. Now, Portland, 23 here. This could also be in a Pascal Siakam trade, but if they can get to keep this pick, this would be fantastic for them, and I think they could really go for some immediate defense right away, and that could be Olivier Maxence Prosper. That could be James Najee. But I think like immediate impact is Noah Clowney. You're trying to win with Damian Lillard. I think it might take James Najee, who's going to be 18 when the season starts, a little bit time to develop. And so I think you could take Clowney right now just for the defensive side, who can kind of be a switchable 4 and could help you improve your pretty poor defense next year in Portland. A team that also needs to improve their defense is the Sacramento Kings. And yeah, Chris Murray's still on the board. I've been mocking that a ton, but I'm going to have them go with James Najee because, you know what, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, they're still in a fine prime age. Like, they're not even in their full-on prime yet. And I think James Najee might take 2 or so years to develop, but he could be that rim protector, maybe coming off the bench, maybe playing next to Sabonis long-term. Not sure about that fit, but we wouldn't have to see some Alex Len or Rashawn Holmes minutes in the future, which would be nice. 25 here, Memphis. They have a really deep roster. I just can't see Bryce Sensabaugh falling this low. This is probably the lowest I could see him go. And he probably might not even go past Sacramento there, but I think Sacramento really needs to add on the defensive end, and I think that's great value for the Memphis Grizzlies. Indiana Pacers, their second first-round pick. We had them take Taylor Hendricks before, so I think that they could go with Ryan Rupert. Another wing might benefit from being in the G League, but I think this is also great value, him going at 26. Hornets at 27, so they made the Zion Williamson trade, so they're trying to make the play-in tournament next year, at least at the bare minimum. So let's get somebody that can help them right away, and that could be Chris Murray, who could space the floor. Zion, not a good shooter, so maybe put Murray next to Zion, and that could help out their floor spacing a ton. Utah, with their third first-round pick in this draft, we had them with Keontae George and Anthony Black. So I think a lot of you guys would love the way this draft is going for them. And somebody that I think definitely needs to go in the first round is Maxwell Lewis. I love his ability to score at the rim, get to the rim, and be efficient inside. I think he could be a 3-level scorer in the NBA. I'm a big fan of Maxwell Lewis's game. I just can't see him falling out of the first round. Third first round pick here for the Pacers. I think Brandon Podziemski has to go in the first round as well. I know Ben Shepherd out of Belmont's been getting a lot of hype. Could this be a City Sissoko pick? I'm going to have them take Brandon Podziemski. Now, he could be more of that too. I think Andrew Nembhard is also like that combo guard guy, and Mathurin you could bump to the 3. We'll see if they move Buddy Hield, but I think Podziemski should also go in the first round. And also seems like a Pacer type player, like a smart, high basketball IQ Pacer guy. 30 here. The Clippers need somebody to help them next year. There's a ton of talent that they can go with. Ben Shepherd out of Belmont, Marcus Sasser, Trace Jackson-Davis. They could also go with Andre Jackson, Jaime Jaquez, or Olivier Maxence Prosper, who I think I'm going to have them select here. That could be a first round pick. Somebody that's a run and gun 4, can be switchable on defense, and could be a plus offensive player for them. So that is going to wrap out my final mock draft that has trades. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? I think if there are draft night trades, which there will be, there always is one, and if it's something in the top 3, this could be kind of crazy. And I don't think Portland, if they don't trade Damian Lillard, should draft Brandon Miller. Trade him. Get a Pascal Siakam. Get somebody that can help you at least make the playoffs in a top 6 format next year and go from there. And then, yeah, could we see Scoot Henderson? Like, maybe the Hornets are like, I don't know who to take, Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. Let's just get Zion Williamson in exchange for him, and you could have Zion and LaMelo there in Charlotte. But yeah, predicting trades are fun. It's super hard to predict, but it's fun to kind of see what the outcomes could be. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoy. Like I said, my final mock draft will be out on Wednesday. That's my lock it in one. I'm going to be following it throughout the draft, seeing if I'm getting these picks right or not. And yeah, I'll be live streaming the draft on Thursday. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see that on your sub feed. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.